What is our structure today? Is there a show and tell presentation, you think, from anyone?
Yeah, so today Valère entirely volunteered by himself. He was not forced at all to do a presentation about everything encryption on Matrix.
Cool.
So Josh is not here today because it's a bank holiday in the US. So we're going to follow the new format. So we won't have everybody just reading their notes, but I asked Valère to not prepare anything and to just answer a few questions about everything encryption on Matrix. So Valère, since you have volunteered,
Yeah.
are you ready for some questions about
Yeah.
all that? So the first question I would have would be trying to not get too technical and take a step back. I could see a few memes on social media about UTDs in Matrix, but I'm not seeing that much about other end-to-end encrypted messages. So what is making encryption particularly difficult on Matrix?
Oh, you mean to Matrix? I mean, generally speaking, we are encrypting things, and in a way that offers great security. Like, you want your future conversation to be safe. You also want your past conversation to be safe. So, in order to have that, there is like a complex machinery with two states, two independent machines that are like creating key, encrypting, and dropping the keys. And this can derail. So that's what usually happens. But there is also a lot of other things in regards of federation and multi-devices. So for you, when you speak in a room with someone, you might think it's just the two of you talking, but actually for the encryption layer, we are thinking about devices. So there might be already 4 devices if you have a web and a mobile. So we already have to distribute all of that. And in order to work, this is also, this is already different than other platforms where you don't have multi-device to that extent. The other thing is federation and the fact that our encryption is designed to work asynchronously. So I can start talking to you even if you're offline. And so you need to publish a bunch of keys on the server. And we are of a federation, so we need to ensure to get all the keys from everyone in the room. And so it can happen that some keys are missing and you won't get the keys. And also another particularity is like the fact that you have access to history. It's something that you don't have, for example, in WhatsApp. And again, if you think about history only as a user, we also have to think about history as a device. If I have different device, a device that logged in later, some of the messages for that new device will be history. And so it won't have access to the keys. So it has to get them. So that's why sometimes you cannot decrypt history just because that device was not there.
So when you say when you talk about multi-device, I'm thinking, for example, about Signal and WhatsApp. They do support multi-device, or do they not really support multi-device? Because I can have an account on my mobile phone and on my computer as well. Is it different in Matrix?
So they do support now. I mean, there was a point where you, if you wanted to have your messages on web, you had to have your mobile on and active, and so it was like gossiping with your mobile. So now, yeah, you have access to multi-device, and I might say that sometimes you cannot decrypt on WhatsApp, and you will see that waiting for a message. So yeah, it happens. So it used to happen a lot for us. And that's why we are basically moving to a new crypto stack and a common crypto stack so that we can find and fix the bug only in one place.
Okay, so that's a perfect transition because I wanted to ask what are the high-level initiatives that you are conducting to fix the problems? So what are the various projects happening in order to make encryption more solid?
So it has been a huge effort and it's only like landing now, but we have migrated all our client into using a common crypto stack that is the Rust SDK. So this is a huge step forward. Like I said, we have a lot more shared code, so we can investigate and fix things at once. We can also implement new behavior that will be available in all clients. So we've done that. So we are currently rolling it out for web. Mobile is already using the new stack. So of course, as I told, we have two different Ratchet and machine to keep in sync. So until everyone has migrated to Rust, you might not see yet the benefit. So we are starting now, and all of that effort will pay off now. And we are starting looking at more deeply into potential issues. So we started a brand new framework for end-to-end testing that is like checking everything and doing hardness tests. And so this is helping us a lot, like really pin down the bugs and then try to find solutions for them.
So what you're referring to is Complement Crypto.
Complement Crypto, right.
Right. So what is the current status of things? The Rust SDK does exist. The one bit you are talking about is the Rust Crypto Crate, I believe. How do the two work together? Do I need to use the whole Rust SDK to use the Crypto Crate?
No. So previously we had like Libon, that was like the primitive of crypto, the ratchets and all of that. It was already shared. But then we have now the Rust SDK with first Vodosemac, which is the equivalent of Libon, and we added a new stack of common code that is the Rust crypto. So it's handling all the part where you have to get keys from servers, like sharing the room keys to everyone, creating the session and all of that. So, and you can use that alone. And there is another layer that is the Rust SDK that is used with the Element X client, which is doing a lot more things regarding rooms, event. The Crypto Crates for now only handles like encryptions. So it's like sending encrypted messages, not exactly sending, but it's like encrypting messaging, receiving room keys, tracking users.
Right, so since Element X is using the Rust SDK, it's necessarily using the Crypto Crate as well, so it's going to benefit from all that work already. You mentioned Element WebR very quickly. So what is Element WebR and what's the general status of it?
So Element WebR is Element Web Rust. So basically we switched the old crypto layer that was in JavaScript to the new Rust layer. So it was a huge work, like to properly extract the abstraction that we needed to be able to switch stack dynamically. So this is all passing through a WASM layer, and so it's like using the Rust Crypto Crate, just like Element and iOS are, just like Element Android and Element iOS are doing now. Yeah, basically, it's the existing web, but with the Rust crypto layer.
So is it a separate version of Element, or how can I test it?
So if you go to app.element.io and you log in a new session, you will be Rust by default. If you are deploying your own element, it's also the default for every new login to be on Rust. So now there are like the existing users that are on legacy. So if you don't do anything for now, you will stay on legacy crypto. And we are starting the rollout. So that is a migration of legacy users to Rust. So there is a migration involved because we need to like get out all your keys and account information from the previous SDK and transform them and pass them to the new Rust SDK. So if you like, there is a lab flag, you can go and check it. So you will have a progress bar where we will start exporting things. So depending on your account, it can take some time. But yeah, after that, you're done. You're on Rust.
All right. Is there anything I can do to help as somebody who is just an enthusiast and who is not very involved into developing the Rust SDK or anything? Do you need somebody to test experimental features that, like what you mentioned? Do you want me to use Element WebR or regular Element Webs and RAID shakes, anything?
So basically, soon everybody will be using the REST crypto because we will roll out everyone. So nothing specific, but we are now doing the migration. So we are keen to have any kind of feedbacks on how the migration went for you. I mean, like, was it too long? Did you notice something strange? So yeah, we are, if you see the migration and after that you find something strange, please report. And also, if you want to know if you are already using Rust or not, you can go into the settings, help and about, and check the version. If you are on Rust, it will be written Rust SDK. Otherwise, it will be Alm.
All right, very cool. I think I ran out of questions. So if people around have questions, feel free to ask. But I know that Valère is very clear.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Valère. Is there anything else you want to mention about encryption that I didn't ask you about?
I mean, I'm very proud of what we've achieved. It was like such a long effort. So I want to say Rich, Andy, Hubert, Damir, and Benoit, and also Francois when it was Android, and also Andy for iOS. So yeah, we've rolled out all that this year, starting with iOS, then Element Android, and finally we have web. Yeah, it was like a crazy run, and let's now benefit from that, because really now we can do things much more faster, and we can fix things once and for all.
Right. Really cool to see that this is finally coming together. So I hope the encryption is going to be more reliable. To be completely transparent with you, I'm a rather heavy user of Element and Matrix in general, and I'm not facing a lot of issues, but I have an Element client open on my laptop 24/7, so I guess I'm a special case.
That's one of the difference. Yeah, we are like special users. We are always on, and yeah. As I said, in order to be asynchronous, you have to publish key. You might run out of keys, so there are ways to get around that. And also, it must support out of order messages and all of that. So yeah, we are not getting them often, but definitely some are.
All right. So the format is mostly about getting somebody to talk. So the new format of the Matrix Sync is mostly about getting somebody to talk about a specific topic, like we just did with Valère. But if somebody has outstanding news that they want to share, now is the time. So is there anybody in the team who wants to announce something?
Not necessarily an announcement, just a request for MSCs for the next cycle of the Matrix spec process. If you have MSCs that should be included in Matrix 1.11, so after March, let us know in the spec core team office. We'll be happy to add those to our list of considerations.
All right. Thank you, Travis. Anybody else? All right. So before releasing you, I'm just going to advertise that with community member MTR Node, tomorrow we are going to have a pilot of the website Office Hour tomorrow in an effort to onboard more people. So it was only advertised from my personal account on Mastodon to keep its rather low audience. And if things go well, we will advertise more broadly and try to onboard more people to help us make the matrix.org website the best website you have ever browsed. That's all for today. See you in a couple of weeks. See you around.